When starting to sell on Amazon, many new sellers oftentimes ask the question, do I need to create a business entity to start selling on Amazon? The short answer to that question is no. But in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you and go over the pros and cons of having a business entity. In the end, it'll be up to you to decide which path you choose for now. Let's go ahead and start with the pros. So probably the biggest reason to start with an LLC is that it's first step into getting ungated for products. You should know what that means by now, but if you don't, let's walk through it. So essentially, ungating means the process of getting approved to sell a brand or within a specific category, such as toys or topicals or grocery. Although there are many products that you can sell without needing approval, most major brands and categories are quote unquote gated for new sellers. The approval process for Amazon requires you to provide an invoice from a manufacturer, wholesaler, or distributor showing the purchase of at least 10 units of a single SKU. 99% of wholesalers, distributors, and manufacturers will require that you have a business entity, such as an LLC, to open an account with them to purchase and obtain these invoices needed for Amazon approval. The next pro for having a business entity are the tax benefits of having a business. Having a business will allow you to write off business-related expenses on your tax returns. These expenses typically include things like the mileage that you're driving your car to go source product in store or to go drop off packages at UPS. It can include your different supplies. They could be office supplies such as printers or a computer, or packaging supplies like boxes, polybags, tape, etc. Group memberships are typically often included as well, but certainly please consult your accountant to determine what is possible in your business to potentially write off. And finally, having a business entity can add a layer of protection should some crazy customer decide to file a lawsuit against everyone in the product supply chain. This is something that often isn't talked about, but essentially, your business entity will protect your personal assets from being included in, let's say, what that crazy customer can go after. So it provides a layer of protection for your personal assets in case of any type of lawsuit. But again, please consult a business attorney to understand more on how to keep your assets protected. All right, let's go over some cons. So some of the cons are, let's say, additional costs, right? So having a business entity usually requires some kind of fee, whether that be paid to the state to set it up or to a service to help you set it up. Those are additional costs that are incurred when setting up a business entity. Another thing that you have to do is really formalize your bookkeeping, keeping track of all the fees that Amazon may be charging, all the expenses that you have, the cost to buy products, what your profit is after all fees and things like that, and shipping. You really need to be able to formalize that bookkeeping, which ultimately leads to paying and filing your taxes. So, I mean, everybody should be paying taxes on the products that they're selling, right? The reality is that Uncle Sam really isn't watching you until you actually have a business entity. So by having formalized bookkeeping, you'll be able to have correct taxes for your business that then you can go ahead and pay against. All right. So now that we understand what the pros and cons are, let's go ahead and talk about taking action on the different paths that you can take. But before I do that, let's go ahead and talk about what you'll actually need when you get your business entity. Now, you'll need some type of business entity, whether that be like an LLC or a sole proprietorship or S Corp. A business entity will need to be set up with your state. Oftentimes, states will ask if you need a sales tax certificate within your business entity application. Sales tax certificate is also known as a reseller permit or resale certificate. Those are all common names for that. But essentially what that does is that allows you to purchase goods at wholesale without being charged tax, with the assumption that when you go ahead and resell and retail those products, that you will be charging tax to pay the sales tax costs back to the government. And then finally, you'll need to go ahead and set up your federal EIN number. Now, in the next slide that we're going to go through, we'll talk about different ways that you can actually set these items up. All right, so how to set up a business entity. We recommend 3 different ways that you can do to set up your business entity. Number one is Google it, right? So Google how to set up a business in your state. You should be able to find multiple links that will take you to your state's application website. When you're talking to other members and asking, what does it cost to set up an LLC or things like that? What's the process? Just know that each state has a different process. They have a different set of requirements and a different cost to actually open up your business entity. Same thing goes with your federal EIN. Just Google how to get my federal EIN number, and essentially you should have links there that'll take you to the application for your EIN. Right. The second way that we can go ahead and have you set up a business is through our staff attorney here at the Buy Box. We do have a business relationship with a staff attorney where there is a pre-negotiated cost to actually setting up your business for you. In order to do that, you can simply go ahead and open up a ticket for the business attorney to go ahead and review your needs, and then you guys will go back and forth with everything that's needed in order to set up the business entity. Okay. And the final way that you can do things, if all else fails, you can use a third-party service like LegalZoom.com that will go ahead and charge you a certain fee, and again, they'll help you set up all of those items that we need. All right, so that's how we can set up your business. Finally, if you decide not to go through setting up your business entity before starting to sell on Amazon, that's no problem at all. Simply open up your Amazon professional seller account. You can always change and add your business at a future date. But again, no problem there. So in summary, you can start an Amazon business without setting up a business entity. You can always change that in the future. Having a business entity will allow you to accelerate the growth of your business by providing you the ability to open accounts with wholesalers to get the invoices required for brand category approval on Amazon. If you have any further questions, please open a support ticket.